Okay, so this video, it's part of my wash machine video series. This is regarding our old washing machine. So in this video, or this episode, I'm going to film our old washing machine doing its last wash. I've had it for 10 years. I'm filming it for my own reasons, for my nostalgic reasons. I can look back on it as well. I do get nostalgic with old machines and stuff, cars, machines. I've always been like that. I just remember our old washing machine going way back, but anyway, that's another story. So I'm going to video the machine doing its last wash. On the next series or episode, I'll show us how we install our new washing machine, and I'll record footage of our new washing machine doing its pre-wash, its first wash. Just rinses everything out before we put it in for its put clothes. So basically just cleaning the new wash, just running water through it just to get all the old test water that was in it. There's probably some test water in it from when it was factory tested. So you just give it a you're basically washing the washing machine, if you like, just giving it a pre-wash, and I'll get video footage of that. So the episodes after that will be showing footage of me taking the old washing machine apart, taking it to pieces basically. I'm going to remove the counterweights, the panels. I'm going to the plan is to have it completely taken apart down to all its components, or most of them anyway, all the main crucial ones. So this is our old machine, so you'll probably know it if you've seen the series, the washing machine series already. I don't know how many episodes I'm doing with the series yet. I haven't really planned that ahead, and I'm just going to make the plan up as I go along. But I'm going to have to find something to, well yeah, this one, laundry, we're actually just waiting to get done. So it's more of a sentimental, nostalgic video for me. But we've had this washing machine nearly 10 years. I've done previous videos on it before regarding changing the pump. And I've done videos on it showing it being used with the top and the back covers off, showing all the components whilst it's working. So this video, as I say, is mainly just for nostalgic for me, so I can look back on it. And I know that this is its last wash because there's a fault inside there that I detected not that long ago. So I address the fault. I'll probably address the fault more when I take the thing apart, but in a nutshell, basically, it's where the outer drum, it's difficult to explain. A washing machine has got a suspension system. It's got a spring at each side of the top of the outer drum. So basically the drum is suspended inside the casing. At the bottom you've got a shock absorber at the bottom to support it and to dampen the shocks from the springs. It just controls it basically, the shock absorbers. Well, the drum is hooked on to the end of the spring. And there's a hole where the spring goes through at the top of the drum. It's part of the casing of the outer drum. Now the holes become elongated through time, through wear and tear, and eventually the spring's just going to break through. And when that happens, the whole drum is going to drop on that side, and that will be basically a disaster because it will tear the front seal, water will go everywhere, could short circuit and cause all sorts of problems. It's a serious fault. It just wears through time. There's probably ways of fixing it, but it's easier just to replace the machine. It's too big a job to take the thing out. So I'll highlight that. I've highlighted it on one of my other videos regarding that machine when I had the top cover off. I'll highlight it again when it comes to taking it apart. But as I say, this video is just to show the machine doing its last wash, and then it's been a series of videos, so this will be episode whatever. I've not decided yet, but I'll be titled accordingly. All the episodes will be titled accordingly, so you'll know what you'll be watching. Right, so I'm going to get some dirty laundry in there, and I'm going to record this primarily for myself and nostalgic, because I like to look back on this and I'll share it with you as well. So, because at least if you're watching the series of videos, you could look back to this. So when it comes to taking that machine apart in bits, you could look back on the series if you wanted to see what it was like, before it was taken to pieces. I'm not an engineer or an electrician, my dad is. That's where I get all my advice from, especially regarding safety. You never ever take things apart, the covers off or anything with mains voltage appliances unless you know what you're doing. So that's what you do. You just don't mess around with stuff like that unless you're qualified and you know exactly what you're doing, because the voltage is in there underneath them. Anything that plugs into the sockets on the walls, the voltages could kill you, so don't take covers off of appliances or anything like that unless you know what you're doing. So anyway, let's get on with the, let's get this video, let's get this washing machine on, get the wash on and get some footage of it on its last ever wash. And the advantage of doing this, because I know that machine's it's going to be replaced. Prior to that, other washing machines used to just totally break completely, and out of desperation we had to get a new washing machine immediately. So I didn't have any warning that we were going to replace it. But in this instance I was able to pick up a fault before it actually happens, so I was able to plan and make a video of it on its last wash. Unless it doesn't break. Right, but anyway. So just a wee, you'll get to see all this when I take it apart. The drum bearings and everything's okay. See, the suspension is where the problem is, at the top. Right, so let's get some dirty laundry and get this machine working. Let's get this machine working for its very last wash ever. It's quite sad really, because I do get sentimentally attached to old machines and cars and washing machines. That's why I'm doing this. Oh, it's the last time I'll ever be setting this on this machine. I do feel a wee bit sentimental already just doing this, but I've had it for nearly 10 years. So, water on, power on, clean the powder in, softener in, clothes are in, temperature set, spin speed set, wash program set, and switch it on. So this is the last time I'll ever do this with powder. It's the last wash. So it's just filling up for the last time with detergent anyway. With washing powder, it's the last time I'll ever fill up with washing powder. In the process of doing that now. Obviously the next fill ups will just be the rinsing. I think tonight, once this is finished its wash, once it's finished I'll get the top cover off and get that top weight off. That makes it easier to move the machine into its storing place. That's the drum filled. It's had quite a few repairs in its time. It's had new brushes, it's had a repair done to the thyrac, or is it the triac, for its controls DC, it's a DC module. I think there was a problem with the triac. As I say, it's like DC module. My dad knows all about that. It was in this part of the inside of the machine, circuit board. It's had 3 pumps. The original one obviously it was built with, then that was replaced. And then the pump was replaced again, so it's on its 3rd pump. I've done videos regarding the pump earlier on my channel. I think it's still got the original door seal. Can't think of anything else that's been done to it. It's been a good machine. It gets used more than average. It does multiple washes. So yes, we use our washing machine more than average. At least I think we do anyway. I think we use it more than average. So what I'll do is I'll just highlight the highlights of the wash cycle, like the fills, the drains, the spins and all that. I won't record all of it because it's about an hour long. Yep, that's it when it's sentimental. I remember when we got that new, it was 2015 I think. Certainly the dates inside it, bought in 2015, so it's coming off a 10-year-old. As I say, the advantage of this is that before what I'm doing now, our previous washing machines used to just break down completely and we needed to replace them. It was beyond repair. in a lot of cases we just had to replace them. Besides, I never done YouTube. I've not been doing YouTube that long anyway. 5 years in April, so prior to that I've never had the incline to actually make a video of I've took pictures of our very old washing machine, like, but anyway. So I'm just thinking about how I'm going to get the machine, how I'm going to take it apart, what bits come off. I think I'll take the front panel off to get the front counterbalanced off as well, which makes it easier to manoeuvre down to its storage place. Yeah, I'm already thinking about how I'm going to get the top cover comes off. I'll get the top counterbalance weight off tonight. As soon as it's done its wash, I'll get into the toolkit, get the socket and set it. Which makes it lighter. I'm going to weigh the weights. I'm going to get the weight of the counterbalance. I'll put them on the scales and get the actual weight of the counterbalance weights. There's two of them. There's the top one on the top of the outer drum, and there's one at the front, behind this front panel. So that's why I'm thinking I might get the front panel off as well once this is. I'll get the top one off first, because that's the easiest one. That'll lighten this machine quite considerably. And then I think the weight of the machine's about, percentage wise, I think I don't know, it weighs maybe 12 stone as it is, you know. With the counterbalance, the counterweight's removed, it probably brings the weight from 12 stone down to about 8 stone, I think. So that's about a third of the weight of the whole machine is with counterbalance. Something like that anyway. I'll try and get all the weights anyway when it comes to taking it apart. Obviously I won't get the whole thing taken apart tonight, but I'll get the counterbalance off the top as soon as it's finished. That makes it easier to manoeuvre. And I'll maybe get the front one off as well, then I can get the whole machine in its place of storage where it will stay and remain until, you know, I'll take it apart in bits and through due course. Keep some spare parts like the motor. Well, not spare because it'll not fit on anything, but my dad likes these old parts as well. They're useful. You could use washing machine motors for other purposes if you know what you're doing with them. You probably could even sell a motor as well. You sell parts. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I want to see the parts anyway. Get them all taken out. I've done videos regarding taking things apart anyway on my channel, so I might as well include our old washing machine as well. So just as to log the date in for my own nostalgic reasons. 14th of January 2025, it's about 5 to, my watch is a bit fast, it's about 5 to 6 in the evening, and the countdown is on for its very last wash, and then once it's done that, the project will begin. I'll start taking it apart. So the final countdown is on. So, I asked my brother if he wanted to see it on its last wash. He didn't really bother, he just made me coffee, a cup of tea, and then he just said, oh alright, just wasn't really that nostalgic about it, just had a wee look at it while he was making his tea, cup of tea there, and that was enough for him. My dad, he's just going to watch it on the video, he's just watching something on YouTube. I bet 99% people probably wouldn't be interested, but I've always been a nostalgic person, always, and I haven't changed, and that's why I get that way. I just like to, if I know it's its last wash, I like to make an effort in being there, and off today, and off tomorrow, so I'll go back to work on Thursday, so I've got to get all this kind of like done now. You know, I'll not get all the machine taken apart between now and Thursday, this is Tuesday, but I will do it progressively through time. See, tonight I just want to get the top counterbalance weight off, so it makes it easier, and I might even get the front counterbalanced off as well to make it easier to move that machine down to where it's going to be stored. And when it's in storage, I could take it apart even further, piece by piece. I could take the motor off, take the drum off, etc. Just in my own time, you know. But the most important thing, like in this time, I've just got to prioritise. I've got to get the new washing machine installed. So, but nobody's seemingly overly interested. Look at that nostalgic to it. I mean, I was like that with cars, old buses as well. I remember the old buses from 1991. It was a Volvo Ilsa Dundee bus, Volvo Ilsa Mark 1, Tayside buses. And the R-Wedge, it's 129, I was the last passenger on its last run. I knew it was going to be on its last day in service. So I never forget it. It's 5th of August 1991. It was the last R-Wedge Mark 1 Volvo Ilsa to run in Dundee. Tayside buses, and it ran on the 32 service from Fintray to the city centre, and the driver was on it. I've known him ever since and been good friends since that day. So it's a milestone that I remember. I could remember lots of other things, but this is a milestone regarding the washing machine, but I'll not go off it too much. I've done videos regarding the old buses anyway, but this is I'm going to just focus this series about the washing machine. I was saying earlier, the countdown is on. I'll never see 41 on that dial, rather, I say dashboard, control board, dial board, whatever they call it. You won't see, I'll never see that again, so it's its last. The countdown is on, and then it'll become instantly part of my project to take it apart. I don't have any workshops or anything like that. If I did, it'd be brilliant because I would be able to experiment with it. I'd be able to, you know, do things with the motor, and I just don't have that luxury. I know somebody's got like places, but time permitting. But I will get it taken apart in the space that I do have. Good. Probably won't mean an awful lot to you, but at least what it will mean to you is if you're walking, whether it's the last wash or not, regardless, because it wouldn't make any difference to you, but you'll at least get to see what a Beko washing machine sounds like and looks like, that particular model of machine. And then, like I say, once you start the project by taking it apart, you'll know what the components look like. I've done videos before on my channel. I've took lots of appliances apart. I've taken a microwave apart. I've taken quite a few things apart on my videos. The biggest thing I've done so far was our old cooker. It was a Creda 350 menu. Well, that was last year, I think. I took that to pieces. So I've never took anything this big though, a washing machine, or this heavy yet. The cooker was pretty big, but the washing machine's bulky, heavy. So there's a lot of, I mean, I've always been fascinated in how these things work. It's mechanical parts, it's moving inside, and it's got character. It's the biggest kitchen appliance that actually makes sound and noise, and there's lots of interesting things going on. That ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated in them. I used to watch my dad repair them and do homeowners and do all sorts of things, repairing them, other people's relatives and that, and their machines just to pack up, and, you know, I'd phone my dad, and my dad would get there and fix it, and I'd always like to be there as well to see what was going on and probably get in the way. But yeah, I've always been interested in that. I'll do it. I'll just wait till it does its sort of highlights. I'll wait till it's filling up, empty and spinning and stuff like that, because as I say, the video will just be too long if I record the whole wash cycle. So I'll just sort of record the highlights from now on. So in all the years we've had this washing machine, I've never used any of the programs except for Daily Quick, Super Short, Rinse, Spin and Drain. That's all we've used. We've never really used any of the others. It's only been this one, but 99% of the time it's been Daily Quick. And I've used the short one a few times. Spin and Drain, Rinse, and I could never recall us using any of the other programs. But it doesn't really matter if you don't use them or not. Whether you use these programs or not, it's irrelevant. It's still the same components that are being used. The motor still, everything still gets used. All the components in there get used regardless as to what program you put it on. Except if you put it on cold, then the heater element wouldn't get used, but we've always used the heater element for the settings, for the temperature. All the program does is just deter whether, how fast, how long, in what direction, and how many turns for the drum. It just tells the motor how long to turn for, how fast to turn for, temperature, what temperature it's to go at, how much water, I suppose, when to empty, when to fill. But all the actual components are still going to get used regardless as to what program that you set it for. That's just the brains of it really, that's all that is. Everything's being used, but it's just different programs for different clothing. We've never experimented with that. We've always just stuck with the same wash really. I can't really say I've ever used the delay. I don't think anybody's ever used it. There's always been someone in when we put a machine on. Pre-wash, we've never really needed to do that. We've used the rinse and that, but there's all these functions that are on there anyway. They seem to come as standard on most front loader washing machines like this one, as opposed to the old washing machines where it's a top loader, a manually operated one. But no, we've always had front loaders. We had a relative actually that had a top loader years ago, way back in the 80s. I remember my dad fixing it when there was a fault with it. But we've always had a front loader automatic. All the time I've been around anyway, I can never always remember just having front loaders. Much easier anyway. I don't really fancy the top loader manually washing thing. I'd rather just have an automatic. It's so much easier. So the life expectancy of a washing machine will all depend on how often it's used, how well it's looked after, and how many repairs you're willing to do to it to keep hold of it. Because my dad's an electrical engineer, he knows all the electrical stuff. He's an electrician by trade and knows a lot about mechanical engineering as well. So we've been able to keep hold of our washing machine, but we use it. I'd say we use it much more than average, from my knowledge anyway. The people I know how often they use the machines, we use it a lot more. So, but we've got nearly 10 years on this one. As I say, it could last longer than that. It could last 10, 12, 15 years. It all depends on a lot of factors. The quality to start with when you buy it. But I think it's just it's easier now. It's at one time we probably could have took this one apart and tried to repair that, but what else will go wrong with it? I don't think things are built to last as long as they used to, but it's more of a shelved life. The composite drum, and I thought they would have made that a bit stronger with the hooks, with the spring hooks on the top, but like put an insert in so it wouldn't basically chew through the plastic or through the composite material, which the problem is I could see eventually it's just going to chew right through it. The drum's just going to drop at that side, and that will result in a disaster, because when it's full of water and that happens, tear the front seal, water everywhere, it short circuit, causes all sorts of electrical problems. You don't want that. You don't want water mixing with electric. And of course, it would be completely ruined. You couldn't use the machine after that. So I picked up on the problem on that early, before it breaks completely. So, but at this day and age, I think the society now, it's hang on a second. No, it was nothing. I thought I saw something out there. It was just a reflection of the moon reflecting off that building across it. But anyway, yeah. So as I say, the machine, the life expectancy of the washing machine, it all depends really how often you use it, how well it's looked after, how much money and time you're willing to put into it to keep hold of it. But it's easier for us just to replace this one and just fit a new one and all together. Because what else could go wrong? If the drum bearing goes, that's a massive job. It's 2 drum bearings. There's a drum bearing at the back, and then an outer one. Spindles, spider and everything. You know, you've got to take the drum out and then a drum to separate them, and you've got to knock the bearings out. It's a water seal. I've never done it. My dad's done it before, but it's a huge job, a huge job. So that's the thing. If we do a massive job repairing it, and another fault comes down the line, and another, you know, it's easier just to replace it. So the countdown, as I say, we're getting towards the end of its wash cycle. So we're getting this lovely warm from the drum here. It's nice and cosy because it is set to 60 degrees Celsius, and I'm getting the nice sweet scent smell from the washing powder and that coming through. And it's cold outside, and it's lovely heat off of here. Remember the really old washing machines and that from the 70s and 80s, they had a timer, an actual mechanical timer that would have a mechanical cams inside that would program the machine. You know, that would be the brains of it. Yep, that's on its first empty, well, it's emptying cycle now. So you can hear the pump. It's the filter there, it's the drain hose manual. I'll be removing all that once, I'll be taking all that apart in due course, soon. You'll get to see all that. But that's the last time it will ever empty detergent out anyway. All the water will empty out now, it's just fresh water. It will never empty out the detergent again. That's it. It's a shame really, because it works well, it's always done well when it's been a good machine, it's served us well. But it comes to a point where, you know, so it's on its first rinse cycle. Well, like I say, I've had videos of this with the back and top cover removed, and you can see all the components. I did that a few months ago on my channel. I titled it something like "Washing Machine Working with Top and Back Cover Removed." Should you want to see that. I think it was on the video when I recorded it with the top and back covers off, the last one that I'd done. It's when I spotted that serious fault and that serious wear and tear, and that's when I realised the machine was on its last legs. Yeah, but Dad's replaced brushes in this machine a couple of times. The motor brushes. The drive motor brushes, the carbon brushes. Because through time they just wear, and it's like a service component anyway. It's a serviceable component, carbon brushes for the motor. So they will wear out regardless. So that's it, filling up for the rinse cycle. Our new washing machine is just sitting here waiting patiently for the old one to finish, which isn't that much longer. And then this new one will be put into service. And I'll do a separate video regarding showing us plumbing it in and doing its first rinse wash, if you like, just to rinse everything out before we actually use it. So it's in to sit. Faster spin speed, it's same weight, 9 kilograms for the load capacity, but it's a 1400 spin speed as opposed to the old one, which is the 1200. So hopefully this one will last longer than our old one. So it's just on its second rinse cycle. That's the softener going in. When it changes pitch like that, that's the softener going in. So that's its last ever rinse. It's the last time softener will ever go in it again. It's its final rinse ever. I think if I remember right, after it does the softener rinse, I'm not sure if there's another rinse after it or it just goes to the final spin. But certainly the last of all the detergent anyway, that's the softener. That's it. I'll never fill up the softener again. I'll probably never fill up again. I think that's the last rinse, and sure of it. It just goes to the spin after that. So I'm recording this. We'll hear the shut off valve very shortly. The last time that will be needed. Pressure switch. Detects the water level and cuts off when it's filled up. That's it. I'll never need to do that again. Detergent done. And the softener done. This could be its last ever empty. In fact, it will be. So 14th of January 2025, 7:15 in the evening. It's this washing machine's last ever empty. Well, it's still a wee bit empty when it does spinning, but that's pretty much the drum. It will never fill up again. Could be wrong, I could hear water going in, so maybe there is another rinse after it. I'm not sure, but it's just to stabilise it before, I don't know. Yeah, there is another rinse. Okay, so what is there? I don't really know, maybe it isn't another fill up. Can't remember now. No, I think that's it. I might have just put water in there just to maybe stabilise the load. There is a load sensor. Well, it detects the speed and load on the motor of the tires, whether or not the actual drum's in balance or not. It must monitor how the motor is performing. If it's unbalanced, it will be an unsteady load on the motor, and it then knows it, and just to clothes inside just by tumbling it at different rates, and maybe add a wee bit of water just to help stabilise it before it does its final spin. You certainly wouldn't want the drum to come apart at this point, because when it's working the suspension, it's trying to steady a balance the load. It starts to rock like that. It doesn't help when the spring hole is elongated. It gives it excessive movement. It also drops it that wee bit further down at that side, because the actual hole is getting bigger, so the drum is effectively lowering slightly, which may make it harder for it to balance. It's kind of balanced now, but I don't think it will help if there's a hole on that side. The drum's sitting a bit at an angle. The other side's not as bad, but the right hand side one was the worst one, as you'll see in the video later when I take it apart. Waiting for the final spin now. There's that other noise that starts to happen at this speed. I've noticed lately with the washing machine. It could be signs of another problem. It might be the motor bearings, I don't know, but there is a sort of vibrating, a screeching kind of. It wasn't there before until lately, so it could be signs of another underlying fault, but don't need to worry about that now. About 4 minutes and it'll be finished. Final spin. And that's it. I'll record the bit where the cooling interlock cools down. We'll get that recorded now actually. As it cools down, that stops flashing. You'll hear it clicking, so I'm going to capture that moment as well. And when that happens, you can open the door. It's about a minute or something left. That's it. That's it. It's finished. Turn the water off. Switch the power off for the last time for it. And take the clothes out. So that's the clothes taken out. The machine is now finished. Forever. So that's it. That's the machine now finished for good. After all the years it's done this, it's done well. It's been interesting. What am I like trying to do a final swing? A ceremony phrase. Just couldn't help laughing a bit there. No, that's it. That's the first time I've done that with a washing machine, because as I say, prior to that, all our machines have just totally packed in all together, and well, at least I had pre-warning with this one. So I've just got to be practical now. It's time to get that one out of there and get the new one installed, which will be done in a separate video. I'll record that being installed and its first pre-wash, the very first wash, in the next washing machine series video. And then after that, I'll be back to this old one and remove the counterweight from the top. So that's it for this one anyway. That's the last wash ever with our Beko washing machine. And the new one awaits. So if you want to see that, just see that on the next video. Okay, thanks for watching. It's more this video was mainly more of a nostalgic video for I could reference back to it, and I just thought I'd share it with you as well. So that's it. Okay, thanks for watching.